Hey, what's up? Ryan here. Today is going to be a lot of fun. Reason why is you can follow along with me as I go through a full session in vitamin that's been updated and is on our new platform, Praxis. That's right. So what I'm going to do is basically just hit the button on my computer. It's going to hit start and I'm just going to go straight through. Today I'm going to be doing a 15-minute session. You can do it along with me. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to move over to my computer, get it started, and then we can get into our session. So today's session, we're going to be working on session number 2. I've already got everything queued up here using a MacBook Pro. This is just from my browser here. I'm already logged in and everything to Vitamin. I'm going to scroll down here. I've already gone through session 2 before, but I thought it'd be fun to do it again today. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit session 2, and it's going to queue me up right here to session 2 over the falls. And so today what we're going to be doing is focusing on the forward shoulder roll. Now you notice here we've got 6 exercises within this particular session, and I selected 15 minutes. And so from the beginning to the end, this is only going to be 15 minutes. Pretty short session. You can set it up for 15 minutes or 30 minutes, depending on what you want to do. So we'll go ahead and hit start session. You see my ugly mug there. A little intro video. I'm going to skip that. We don't need to watch that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and skip it, go into next. And then 15 minutes for today's session. So hit that, continue. We'll be off to the races. We're going to start off with prepare. And so in our prepare session today, this is what we got going on. We got these 3 warm-up movements. All the cues and everything are in there. And hey, let's just get into it. Now, when this starts, there's going to be a tutorial with Jarlo's lovely, lovely voice explaining how to do the movement. I'm going to pause that. I'm going to go ahead and just get right into the start portion of it. And we're just going to work on our wrists here. And so let the timer take me through it now. I'm just going to start off. And this is a minute. And as you go through Vitamin and the other programs that we have on Praxis, but in this case Vitamin, you'll notice in this case that Chris is demonstrating this particular prep movement that we have going on. Cool thing about Praxis and everything that we have set up is it's not meant for you to necessarily follow along, but just basically teach you the movements and give you a timer so that you can just focus and step away from the computer or your iPhone or your smartphone or your iPad or whatever you're using and really focus on that particular movement. Of course, I'm talking right now, but I've done this a couple times, so I know what's going on. So we're coming up to the end of that minute. And again, I'm just prepping myself for today's session, getting ready for when I get into the forward rolls. Now, beep, let me know. It's been a minute. So I hit the done button. Cool. We're going to move on to the next warm-up move, kneeling back flexion to prone. And again, I'm going to skip this and go right into the start of it.
Tuck your chin in and sit your hips back as much as you can.
So I'm going to hit start. I'm going to be starting for 3, 2, 1. And here we go. Sitting back, forward, nice and easy. Again, this is meant to go at your own pace. So we do have that demo video in there. But rather than following along with the demo, what I suggest is really listen to your body and go at your own pace. You're not focusing on repetitions. You're focusing on what's going on in your body today and each and every day. So just because we have a demo in there doesn't mean that it should be done exactly the same way. What I mean by that is don't think that if you can't perform it exactly how it's shown that it's bad. Again, you work at your own pace and focus on whatever needs you have that day. And as we go into the play portion of today's session, then I'll talk about making adjustments. And yeah, we'll go through that. We're coming up to the end of this prep. There we go. There's the buzzer. So I'm going to go back over here, hit done, move on to our final prep. our final prep is the general kneeling lunge. So for the kneeling lunge here, the cool thing about this is that Praxis already knows that we need to do both sides. And so I hit the timer. I'm just going to focus on going through this prep. I'm going to hold this a little bit today. I kind of feel like holding it just a little bit, kind of tight to be honest. So, but to further explain that, Praxis knows that you need to do this on both sides. So it's set up so that the timer will adjust according to that. So we'll be doing 30 seconds, 1 minute on each side, both right and left. So again, we're doing 15 minutes for a total session. And so everything's adjusted according to that. The 3 prep exercises in there will be about a total of 5 minutes, okay, about. And then moving on into the play portion that we're doing, time is also adjusted. So you don't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff. Again, that's the beauty of this program, is that you can really focus on what you're doing unless you're shooting a tutorial. Okay, so now it's time to switch. I wouldn't say a tutorial today, it's a follow along. We're doing this together, so I hope you are doing it with me. So this is a great opportunity for you to try this out and, you know, get a feel for what's going on in our vitamin program. Really, really love vitamin. It's one of my favorite programs. I mean, not that I don't like any of our other programs, it's just that there's so much of variety in vitamin. Every day is different, you know. There's levels in terms of variations of each movement for every person, so it really doesn't matter your level. You can work if you're just a beginner, and you can work up, and even if you're advanced, because you can always go in there and play. And that's the focus of vitamins: exploration, having fun, and that's what it's all about. We're coming up to the end of our prep here. I'm excited to get into the play portion. So there we go. So we finished up our prep. So now what we're going to do from here, hit done, and it's going to take me right into asking me how I'm feeling today. You know what? I'm feeling really good. I'm ready to rock. So I'm going to hit that button and then continue. It's going to take us into our play portion. And so play, as I mentioned earlier, is about exploration. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to explore the forward shoulder roll setup. This is our first movement today. Now, I've done this a lot, but the thing is, it doesn't matter. You can always come back to it and further explore it. I want to focus on these key points that's going on in here. And I can watch this tutorial.
Can be intimidating.
Yes, they can.
They don't have to be.
I just noticed that I'm wearing the same shirt and jeans that I am in this video. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and skip this though so we can get right into it. We're just going to focus on going right into the setup. And so I'm going to hit start, and again, the time is adjusted for me. And so all I'm going to do is focus on going now on both the right side and the left side. And so for here, I'm checking here, I got like 3.5 minutes to mess around with this. So, you know, I'm just going to be focusing on make sure that in my starting position that I screw this arm up over, I make a window, and then I look through the window and make sure that my head is free. And so what I'm doing here is just seeing how this feels. And I'm doing this on both sides. I'm not in a rush to do it. Again, I'm exploring it, seeing how things are going today when I'm doing this as I screw that arm into the floor, making my window, placing the shoulder on the ground and looking through the window up at the ceiling. I'm not doing a forward roll at all right now. Again, this is just the first variation in a series of 3 that we're going to be working on. I'm going to go to the opposite side again now and just continue working on it. Oh, noticing there, my knee naturally wants to float off the ground. That's cool, but I'm not trying to go any further. I'm just seeing what I can do with this particular variation of the movement and get comfortable with it. What's going on with my breathing? Am I bracing? Which you shouldn't be. And so the thing is, speaking of breathing, let's say I'm 2 minutes, I got 2 minutes left, and I do this and take a break if I need a break. So I step back and catch my breath and think about what's going on. It's not a matter of being like the Energizer Bunny where we just keep going and going and going and going. All right, so I've got what, like a minute and 20 seconds left. Again, it's just focusing on exploration, working on this particular variation, going nice and slow. Now, you don't need to match my pace again. I've done this a lot, and so it's not that I'm perfect at doing this at all, okay? That's not it. It's that I've just spent a lot of time working on it. But a lot of the times in vitamin, and for the majority of the things that you're doing in vitamin, they're going to be movements that you've never done before. And so the thing is, don't think that you should be able to nail those or get those movements in the very beginning. It's about play. It's not about getting those particular movements. It's about seeing what's going on when you try those movements. And for the first 28 days that you do vitamin, you'll be doing those movements every single day if you follow it day by day there. But the thing is those movements repeat then. So you do 28 sessions, and then you repeat those 28 sessions. So you get an opportunity to do those one more time. And so we just finished up here, so I'm going to go on to the next movement. So after the forward shoulder roll setup, next up, forward shoulder roll foot walk.
This variation, I'm going to ask
Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and just skip that. I'm going to talk you guys through it, and you can see how I'm doing when I'm doing this. I'm going to go ahead and start it. As I mentioned, we repeat. So we do 28 sessions, and then you repeat those 28 sessions. So it's a lot of fun. There's also some other things coming up in those last, or I should say the second 28 sessions, some challenges and stuff. So it's not the exact same. Now, for this particular variation that I'm doing, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to screw my arm, shoulder to the floor, make that window. I look through up at the ceiling. Then from here, I'm going to bring my butt up into the air. I'm just going to walk my feet forward. Notice that I don't fall over. I'm not doing the forward roll yet. Screwing that arm. Bring it down to the floor. Look through the window. Bring my butt in the air and I walk my feet forward as far as I can without falling forward. That's very important, and that's what we're trying to explore with this particular variation of the movement. Now, you might fall over. That's cool. Well, you know how far you need to go then. In other words, you shouldn't go that far because you'll fall over. So this is what I mean by exploring. And so trying to figure out these little things instead of just trying to do the movement. See what happens when you try and go slow. What's going on with your head? Notice my head is not touching the floor at all when I'm doing this particular variation. I'm walking my feet forward as far as I can and coming back out of it. Again, where is that point for you? It's going to be different for everyone. Take a break if you need to take a break. It's totally cool. How is this side compared to the other side? You might find that you can do the other side no problem, but then, oh no, you start to fall forward. Hey, it's totally cool. Just go back. Try that again and just don't go that far. Are you holding your breath? I hope not. Okay. Try and breathe naturally. Focus on what's going on. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, I'm skipping the tutorial, okay? I'm the dude who created the tutorial, so I kind of know what's going on. But when you go through the program in Vitamin, make sure that you watch that tutorial. Watch it. It's going to take about a minute and a half to watch that tutorial. But the thing is, by watching that tutorial, even if you think you know how to do that particular movement, there's going to be some key points in there that are going to help you for your exploration. And that's also important. So put aside that way of thinking and that you think that you know how to do the movement. Yeah, I'm sure you do know how to do the movement, but if you can look at it as coming into it with like a beginner's mind, beginner's eyes, beginner's mind, and thinking, okay, what can I learn from this movement that I never really explored before? And that's what I try to do anytime that I'm using these movements. Now, like even just now, trying to like, how I can open myself up even more here, you know? And so each and every time that you're doing it, think about it that way. And that's a lot of fun, you know, think about it that way. All right, so we just finished up here. So now we're off to the last one. And so the last one, typically in vitamin,
It's now time to perform the full shoulder roll.
yay.
This is pretty easy. And the reason why is
Whatever,
because
dude.
you've worked all the way up to this. Now all you have
Yep,
to
that
do
is a good
is
point. All right.
let
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get into this, the forward shoulder roll to sitting position. And let's do it. So we're exploring now. And so the key point after watching that tutorial, which we just watched, right? Right, whatever. Okay, is you take that first variation, you piece the second variation on it, and then all you do is you just keep walking your feet forward, and you naturally fall out of the roll. That's what it is. We're not jumping into this at all. This is where I can set myself up using the previous variations. I go slow, and I just see how easy and slow I can make this movement. That's what we're doing with this, and everything here in Vitamin, and everything at GMB. So again, it's looking at this movement and trying to do it to see what we can do. Doesn't mean that you might not, or pardon me, that doesn't make sense what I was trying to say. Hold on just a second. There we go. Is having trouble doing the movement and talking at the same time there. You're going to find that there's going to be some movements in vitamin that you just simply can't do. That's fine, whatever. Okay? We've got the first variation that I try to make accessible to everyone at any level. You might try that second variation and find that it's doable for you, but you're still kind of having some trouble. That's okay. Because remember, it's not about getting the movement, it's just trying to explore and try it. And then you move on to that third variation, that final variation within that day's session, and you look at it and you're just like, well, I don't think I can do this. But I always suggest to at least try it. And you try it and you're like, man, this is not working. And it's not that it's not even working, it's that it doesn't feel safe. And if it doesn't feel safe, step away, focus on the previous two variations that you're doing. It's totally cool. So that's how things should be, because remember, we're not trying to frustrate you here. All we're trying to do is help you to see not only what's possible, but how you can do this in a way that's enjoyable. And really, vitamin to me, that's why it's one of my favorite programs, because it's so enjoyable, because each session is completely different. You're doing a different movement. And if you can get rid of like thinking, oh man, I gotta get this. No, you don't gotta get anything. Besides just simply enjoying it. And here we go, like checking out my head as I go through. How slow can I do this? Slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Cool. And now, because I have that, now maybe I can work on tempo. So now I can set up, boom, 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 and focus on control now, okay? And so that's the thing, we're looking at strength, we're looking at flexibility, we're looking at control. And depending on where you are with that, it's going to be different. So that's why it can be fun. All right, so we finished up our play portion of our session. I'm going to hit done. Session completed. Yay! All right, cool. And so the next session there, I'm going to do is I'm going to click out of this. It's going to take me to the Ponder screen where I can rate my workout and say, today, how was it? It was looking kind of broke, okay? Or maybe it was looking rough. Maybe it was smooth. maybe it was snappy. Well, I'm feeling pretty snappy today, so I'm gonna add that in there. As far as effort, maximum effort, which means it was really, really tough, right? Or here maybe it was challenging, okay. Or maybe it was solid, okay. Feeling really good. Going back here, challenging. So basically, whereas and the quality scale goes up in quality, we're looking at effort here. So this would be most difficult, leading towards easier, if you will. So here we can look at relaxed. I'm actually gonna go ahead and put in solid. I've done these a lot, but because I was talking to you while I was going through this, you'll notice that my breathing is a little bit labored. I can add in my notes here. Had fun, okay, whatever. And then I just hit done. And then it's gonna take me back. And in this case, we also have Mobius on there, vitamin, and then at the bottom here, I can look at what I've done recently. I just finished up session 2 of vitamin. Lets me know it was the quality of the session along with the ease. It was a 15-minute session with 6 moves. And yeah, so that's it. Now, a lot of fun there. I hope you enjoyed that. Very raw video, if you will, of me just going through one session from vitamin. Now, as I mentioned before, vitamin has 28 sessions that repeat twice, so a total of 56 sessions in all. If you've gone through our previous vitamin, you'll notice that it's different. And it's all updated. It's on our Praxis platform, which allows you to follow along of sorts, but again, the purpose is not for you to literally just follow along the program. It's for you to become better aware of your movement, what's going on when you're performing particular movements within a session, having fun, seeing the results that you're after, and really, can't stress this enough, becoming better aware of what's going on. This is really what it's about. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave us a comment below if you have any questions, and check out some of the other videos on our channel here. Got tons of videos, so subscribe. And if you have any other questions, feel free to always contact us via email. Cheers.